obrigado. Muito boa tarde a todos, excelentíssimos senhoras e senhores, distintos delegados, representantes diplomáticos, camaradas de luta e amigos da África aqui presentes. É com profundo respeito e sentido de responsabilidade histórica que damos início a esta sessão da tarde, dedicada ao papel dos países da linha da frente na luta de libertação da África Austral, particularmente o papel da SWAPO. Nos anos mais sombrios do apartheid e da dominação colonial, foram estes países, Angola, Moçambique, Tanzânia, Zâmbia, Botsuana e muito mais tarde o Zimbábue, que se ergueram como trincheira moral e estratégica e ofereceram abrigo, solidariedade e sangue às causas da liberdade aqui da nossa região austral. A coragem conjunta destes países enfrentou a máquina bélica do regime sul-africano, desafiou o isolamento diplomático e lançou as bases para uma África livre e cooperante. É com grande honra que temos aqui conosco, nesta tribuna, uma combatente da liberdade, uma dirigente que representa o espírito e a tenacidade do povo namibiano, a general Sophia Shaningwa, secretária-geral da SWAPO. A general Sophia Shaningwa é hoje uma das figuras mais emblemáticas da política namibiana e um símbolo vivo da luta pela libertação do seu país, nacionalista de convicção inabalável e combatente da liberdade. É a atual secretária-geral, como já aqui disse, da SWAPO, o partido histórico que conduziu a Namíbia à independência e que continua a ser pilar fundamental da construção do Estado namibiano. A trajetória da general aqui ao meu lado começou no fogo da resistência ao domínio colonial sul-africano, tendo integrado tanto a frente interna quanto a frente externa da SWAPO, num tempo em que o preço da liberdade se media em coragem, sacrifício e perseverança. Sophia Shaningwa participou e é voz ativa na organização da luta e mobilização popular ao longo de uma carreira exemplar ao serviço da pátria namibiana. Desempenhou altos cargos de responsabilidade no aparelho de Estado, foi governadora das regiões de Komasi e Omusati e ministra do Desenvolvimento Urbano e Habitação, funções que deixou a sua marca de liderança pragmática. E, muito recentemente, em 2017, escreveu um novo capítulo na história da SWAPO e da Namíbia ao tornar-se na primeira mulher a ser eleita secretária-geral do partido. É este mesmo país que tem agora uma mulher na presidência e uma mulher na vice-presidência, raro no mundo, raro em África. Senhora General, seja muito bem-vinda. General Shaningwa, you may now take the floor to deliver your first remarks.
Thank you. Thank you very much, directors of proceedings, Comrade Amilcar Xavier. Let me salute the entire leadership of the government of the Republic of Angola, under the leadership of His Excellency, Comrade João Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola. Your Excellencies, Joaquim Cissano, former President of Mozambique, Comrade and dear brother, Tete Antonio, Minister of External Relations of the Republic of Angola, Comrade Mario Augusto da Silva Oliveira, Minister of Telecommunications, Information Technology and Social Communications, General Leopoldino Sintra Farias of the Republic of Cuba, Comrade Vladimir Tarafov, Russian Ambassador to Angola's Здравствуйте, esteemed members of diplomatic corps, senior officials, commanders and combatants of Quito Carnival, esteemed scholars, comrades, and cadres of the whole former liberation movements of Southern Africa, comrades and friends, members of the media, a very good afternoon to you all. First and foremost, let me convey the fraternal greetings from Her Excellency, Comrade Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, President of SWAPO, and that of the Republic of Namibia. Secondly, let me express my profound appreciations to the government of the Republic of Angola for extending this very important invitation to SWAPO Party, hereby represented by myself as Secretary General of SWAPO Party, accompanied by Comrade Utoni Nuyoma, the firstborn of late President Sam Nujoma, a member of the Central Committee of SWAPO Party, who have also served in the People's Liberation Army of Namibia plan, and a veteran of the liberation struggle. As part of the series of commemorative activities to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the national independence of the Republic of Angola, we feel honored and privileged to be here. We feel home to represent SWAPO Party, to participate in the International Conference of the Liberation of the Southern Africa under the theme, The Role of Frontline Countries in the Total Liberation of Southern Africa and the Overthrow of the Apartheid Regime, and make specific contributions on the struggle of SWAPO in the context of frontline states. Dear comrades, as neighboring countries, Angola and Namibia share common borders. Our people share family and cultural bonds. Hence, SWAPO Party and pela shared the same trenches during our dark days of our national liberation struggle to gain independence of our country. Angola accommodated us during our most difficult time when it was not fashionable to do so. I'm happy, of course, to be presided already by His Excellency, Comrade Joaquim Chissano, the former president of Mozambique, who was just here. And I consider him to be our living encyclopedia. And therefore, the importance of this very important person to be taken note of, and also humbly at the same time, to ask him to start writing a book on what he has just said, for now and for the future generations. Directors of ceremonies, dear comrades, as you are aware, the South Africa, the then South Africa apartheid regime had perpetuated the colonial oppression on the Namibian people and constituted the contract labor with harsh conditions, racial segregation, looting of our natural resources, and occupation of our land. This operation resulted in the formation of our liberation movement, the Southwest Africa People's Organization, SWAPO, of Namibia, which was founded on the 19th of April, 1960. As a liberation movement, with its people, the Liberation Army of Namibia Plan, an armed wing of SWAPO Party, which was formed in 1962 to fight and to liberate the then Southwest Africa, now Republic of Namibia. The armed wing of SWAPO worked together with armed wings of sister liberation movements across Southern Africa. We were trained together in Kongwa, Tanzania, and have crossed many rivers of blood together. SWAPO as an organization with a Pan-Africanist ideology was recognized and received an overwhelming support from the international community. SWAPO's military wing plan worked hand in hand with the People's Army Forces of the Liberation of Angola, FAPLA, and applied guerrilla tactics to fight the then well-equipped South African Defense Force. On the 26th of August, 1966, the first major battle took place when a unit of the then South African forces, supported by its Air Force, attacked the SWAPO Party guerrilla based at Omkulu Wembashe in the northern Namibia. This date is well documented in the history of Namibia. It's a start of the active war between SWAPO guerrilla fighters and the racist South African Defense Force. Directors of ceremonies, Your Excellencies. In 1973, the United Nations recognized SWAPO as the sole and the legitimate representative of the Namibian people. When Angola gained its independence on the 11th of November, 1975, and came to power, and already in 1976, it offered SWAPO, and I'm underlining this, the Republic of Angola offered SWAPO the place to set up bases and to fight on its territory. In April 1975, the frontline state or states consisting of Botswana, Tanzania, Zambia, were formally recognized as entity and a committee of assembly of heads of states of organizations of African unity. They were joined by Angola and Mozambique. In 1975, in Zimbabwe, respectively, in 1980 when it got independence, when those countries gained their independences all together. This process allowed many young Namibians to travel from their country to these countries to receive training in different fields, including the guerrilla warfare. The frontline states suffered greatly after being targeted by the South African Defense Force through its policy of regional destabilization. South Africa launched military incursions into Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and supported the rebel groups seeking to topple the Angolan government and the Mozambican government. Apart from frontline states, countries that participated most actively in the assistance to the liberation struggle in various ways included the African countries, socialist countries like the former Soviet Union, today United Russia, Eastern Europe countries, Cuba, People's Republic of China, and People's Democratic Republic of Korea. The non-alignment movement member states such as Algeria, Egypt, Yugoslavia, and many other countries who were sympathetic to our struggles have also aided the struggle for freedom and independence. They viewed the struggle for Namibia's independence as part of the broader fight against colonialism and apartheid in the Southern Africa. Dear comrades, directors of ceremonies, at that time, Cuba's foreign policy, under the leadership of Comandante Fidel Castro, declared that Cuba will support the cause of international revolution throughout the world, with whichever means available. Therefore, the deployment of Cuban forces in Angola culminated into a well-coordinated battle of Quito-Cuanavale that took place from December 1987 to March 1988. This battle was said to be the largest and the biggest military confrontation on the African continent since War II of those years. The results of battle of Quito-Cuanavale had accelerated the liberation of Namibia, South Africa, and the SADC region. Furthermore, the decisive defeat of the then racist army was a victory for all Africa because it has marked the end of the white domination in Southern Africa and total liberation of Africa from European occupation. And therefore, glory to the combatants and commanders of Quito-Cuanavale. Dear participants, we owe it to the visionary leadership of our founding fathers, of our liberation movements, such as Julius Nyerere, Agustino Neto, Kenneth Kaunda, Mugabe Robert, Sam Nujoma, Samora Machel, Nelson Mandela, José Eduardo dos Santos, and many others who contributed to the fight against imperialism, racism, and colonialism. Glory to our heroes and heroines. Dear comrades, we are meeting at a critical juncture in our history when the imperialist forces and our yesteryear colonial oppressors are mobilizing human and capital resources to effect a regime change, in our respective countries altogether. They do not want to see us on power. These evil forces are not happy with us as freedom fighters, as we are still running the affairs of our governments and directing the destinies of our nation. It is a well-known fact that our brutal did not leave the respective countries through prayers. I repeat that one. It's very important. It is a well-known fact that our brutal colonial oppressors did not leave our respective countries through prayers. No. But because we forced them to leave our countries through the barrel of the gun. Glory to those who fought. We must bear in mind that our enemies are defeated, and a defeated enemy will not forget. Therefore, our former oppressors return to advantage, effect a regime change doctrine in our countries. These doctrines should not be allowed. Therefore, our conference, such as this one, offer us an ample time and opportunity to deliberate and map out joint survival strategies that will strengthen our capacity to retain power we won on behalf of our people through armed struggle, and lead our nation to prosperous future as we have promised to them during the time of our struggle. Indeed, we have recorded tremendous economic achievements in our respective countries since the dawn of our independence. However, more still need to be done to ensure economic emancipation. We have enough resources in our countries. We have enough resources in our countries to develop and address the challenges faced by our people. It is precisely because of our resources that we have our yesteryear colonial oppressors who want still to recolonize us again, and we have to be careful. They will want to exploit our resources to advance their neo-colonial economic agenda at the expenses of our people. That is exactly why our revolutionary ideologies have come under unprecedented attack by the former colonial powers. Directors of ceremonies, they are determined to replace our glorious revolutionary parties with their hand-picked puppets and stooges, and generously fund to destabilize our countries in the name of democracy, and this we must not allow. We must bear in mind that Southern Africa, besides Latin America, is the only region where former liberation movements still command authority in popular support of nationalist politics, thus still playing a great role shaping the destinies of our nations. Our people gallantly fought, shed their blood, and sacrificed their prosperous lives for our countries to be independent. Such sacrifices are priceless. We should stand up politically to crush those who are deliberately formed and generously funded by former masters to reverse the hard-won independence of our country and our liberation. On that, we must stand firm with a commitment, and there should be no returning back. As sister countries, South Africa, Southern Africa, and by extension, the African continent, we must reignite our collective resolute to fight for the economic freedom, just as we had and we held hands together and stood together to defeat imperialism, colonialism, domination. So we should emulate the same economically emancipation of our people today. It is very important, directors of ceremony, that the young people listen when we talk. I was born not very far from the border of Namíbia and Angola. And every day, I used to see the armored vehicles coming in Angola, destroying the territory of Angola, killing the people of Angola, destroying the infrastructures of this country, and almost everything Angola has to start from scratch. And therefore, we need to stand together as before. We need to build together as before. We need to know that between Angola and Namibia, between South Africa now as independent and Mozambique, between Tanzania and Zimbabwe, between all Southern Africa, we do not have any other neighbors. We are stuck together, and we shall be forever neighbors. And therefore, we have to maintain our peace and stability to enable us to build economically and to assist our people and take them out of poverty, as we have taken each other from poverty and defeated colonialism as a team. A luta continua e a vitória é certa. We are very happy to be with you. Thank you very much, Angola, for accommodating us. Thank you very much, Cuba, and thank you very much, Russia. Thank you very much, SADC. Thank you very much, Africa. And I'm thankful for your kind attention. Thank you. Thank you very much, my comrades.
You may take your seat, General. Thank you, General, for that powerful and deeply resonant address. I don't know if everyone has your translation device, if I can still speak in English to not put our guests out of the conversation. General, do you prefer to be listening to me or the translation? We can go on in English. Então, durante aqui a intervenção, nós ouvimos da General Sophia, Secretária-Geral da SWAPO, começou por expressar aqui um profundo agradecimento ao governo angolano pelo convite e pela solidariedade histórica prestada à Namíbia. Sublinhou que Angola e a Namíbia partilham não apenas uma fronteira física, mas também laços familiares, culturais e históricos profundos, que foram forjados na resistência comum contra o colonialismo. Recordou que a SWAPO e o pela estiveram lado a lado na luta pela libertação nacional e que, num momento particularmente difícil, Angola acolheu e protegeu os combatentes namibianos, dando-lhes abrigo, formação e condições para continuarem a luta. A General denunciou, na parte final da sua comunicação, a exploração sistemática dos recursos naturais africanos pelas potências coloniais, um fenómeno que, segundo afirmou, continua agora sob novas formas. Destacou que as Forças Armadas da SWAPO cooperaram estreitamente com vários movimentos de libertação da África Austral e beneficiaram de apoio dos países da linha da frente, que ofereceram espaço, logística e formação militar. Assinalou como momento histórico o ano de 1973, quando a ONU reconheceu oficialmente o papel fundamental da SWAPO como legítima representante do povo namibiano na sua luta por autodeterminação. A General, para além dos países da linha da frente, destacou também aqui o papel fundamental que a antiga União Soviética, a República Popular da China e a República Democrática da Coreia, a Coreia do Norte, que estenderam e entenderam que a causa namibiana era parte de uma luta global contra o colonialismo e a opressão imperialista. A General prestou ainda homenagem a Cuba e ao comandante Fidel Castro, recordando o papel decisivo das forças cubanas na Batalha de Cuitucuanaval, aqui em Angola, e considerou esta vitória um ponto de viragem que acelerou a independência da Namíbia e contribuiu de forma determinante para o fim da dominação branca no continente africano. Sublinhou com firmeza que os colonialistas não abandonaram os nossos países por vontade própria, nem, como ele disse, nem por oração. Foram forçados a sair. Concluiu com um apelo à responsabilidade histórica dos atuais líderes, muitos deles aqui na sala, afirmando que é chegada a hora de cumprir as promessas feitas durante a luta de libertação, alertando também para a necessidade de uma emancipação económica. E os outros pontos da sua comunicação nós vamos querer também ouvir de vocês, recordar que as questões devem ser diretas, objetivas, a menos que seja um general que tenha participado da luta de libertação nacional, pode ter mais tempo. Nós temos agora uma mão estendida. Deste lado. O nome e depois pode fazer até 2 perguntas.
Marcelino Caminha, cidadão angolano. Na verdade, uma pergunta que eu quero fazer é saber como nós podemos vencer, como disse Nelson Mandela, a educação dos nossos povos.
Mas general não compreendeu. Pode repetir a pergunta?
Vou repetir. Como nós poderemos perder ou ganhar? Se calhar é assim.
Como nós podemos perder ou ganhar?
Exato. Quando a questão do desenvolvimento, quer cultural, quer social, quer econômico, e enquanto não tivermos a educação conjunta, em que a Namíbia pode ajudar, porque eu sei que está melhor que nós, em termos de sistema de educação para o desenvolvimento sustentável. Obrigado.
Muito obrigado. E voltava a reforçar que gostaríamos de cingir as perguntas ao tema em análise aqui, ligados ao papel dos países da linha da frente na libertação da África Austral, particularmente o que a Namíbia também teve de fazer com a SWAPO, não é? Que as perguntas estejam por aí direcionadas.
Obrigado. Bernardino Neto, professor de Relações Internacionais. A senhora secretária-geral lavou-nos a alma, sobretudo como hoje os partidos políticos estão a ser tratados. Os partidos que proclamaram as independências deixaram um legado. E este legado hoje, em nome da democracia, está a ser afrontado. Há mesmo um título que os políticos usam, libertar-se dos países libertadores. E quando nós levamos este discurso para a sala de aulas, somos depois maltratados. Quando trazemos este discurso que a senhora secretária-geral nos apresenta aqui. E então, como trabalhar para a nova geração um discurso que seja sustentável, sem manipulações, com um sentido de história, porque este legado não pode desaparecer como ele está a desaparecer. E a senhora secretária-geral falava de que está a ter ataques dos neocolonizadores. Não, o ataque está a ser mesmo de gente nacional, políticos nacionais, que trazem verdades, manipulação digital e depois o que sai devidamente chamuscado são os partidos políticos. E então, como olhar para esta dimensão? Esta é a primeira pergunta. A segunda, na relação Angola-Namíbia, nós temos de salientar que o museu em Vinduque dedica 2 andares sobre a história da relação Angola-Namíbia. Nós estamos muito agradecidos por este gesto. Agora, queríamos que esta iniciativa, que é feita do ponto de vista de Estado para Estado, saísse também para as universidades. Podemos fazer isso, senhora secretária-geral, da SWAPO. A SWAPO vir aqui para as nossas universidades e nós em Pela irmos para lá e outros partidos para se contar a verdade, porque estas verdades estão omitidas. Então, muito obrigado, senhora secretária-geral.
Muito obrigado. Vamos... Yes. Oh, it's all right. A general prefere responder primeiro agora e depois voltarmos às questões. Start with the last one.
Thank you very much for the first question. I understood from the moderator that we should concentrate on the topic as established. But I should just indicate a little bit that a Namibian child not educated will affect the Angolan child. An Angolan child not educated will also affect the Namibian child. Why? Because the two current generations, they should be able to understand one another. They should be able to understand the background from where we came from. They should be able to understand what we stood for. They should be able, a Namibian child and an Angolan child, they should be able to understand that they are neighbors and they are neighbors forever. And therefore the assistance between the government of Angola and the government of Namibia, our bilateral agreements should be enforced to assist our children to equally develop as neighbors. On that question, I just wanted to say that a little bit. It's very, very important. But I want not to discourage you. Angola is doing good. I was in your country at a very tender age. It hasn't been like this. And we should be able to tell those who weren't there when this country was destroyed. You could not see proper infrastructures. Everything was brought down. And therefore, after the Quito Carnival, after the 435 resolution was achieved, and then our countries were declared independent, Angola has tried their best. You are getting there, and you should just encourage yourselves. We should stand together for the development of our two countries. You are not left behind. You are doing completely good. I was there and I know what I'm talking about, and I traveled to this country before independence. Thank you very much on that question. On the question of diplomacy, I just want to again say, yes, we are neighbors. But we should also know that before we are neighbors, we are Africans. Our diplomatic ties must be strengthened. Meetings and conferences of this nature, where as two countries are learning from one another, should be strengthened to enable us to move forward. A very important question is that neocolonialism is coming back. Political parties who brought independence are being infiltrated. I'm a politician. I'm a Secretary General 2 times now. 7 years now, I'm going to my 7 years as a Secretary General. I completed my 5 years and I was re-elected. And I know how hard we are fighting as pela. I know how hard we are fighting as a SWAPO party to retain powers. All what I'm saying as a Secretary General, your neighbor, I'm saying let's not forget where we came from. Let's not forget the blood of those who brought independence. Let's say the truth in the classroom. Let us as politicians try also perhaps to come up with the policy that history cannot be buried. History remained history, and what happened, when happened, for the sake and for the common good of all, must be told to our generation for them to stand tall. And therefore, if our children, if our future generation do not know where we came from, do not understand the background, any wind can come and swipe them. And therefore, the importance for them to understand the ground and the fundamental principles why we are saying a luta continua y a victoria es cierta, and we must stand to the principles and ideals of the revolutionaries, the NATO and the Semnujoma. We should stand there for the sake of our party to survive and for us to stay on power, for we fought to make sure that our people are out of colonialism, and therefore by the end of the day, there should be bread for our people on the table. The war is over, but we are now fighting economically to see to it that our children are not in the street, they are schooling, they are prospering, our women and everybody. So we should be able to keep our foundation very strong to enable us to stand on our two legs. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam General. We are taking two more questions. Vamos mais duas perguntas e depois a General responde. Temos uma mão levantada na segunda fila, à minha direita. Aqui, segunda fila à direita. Depois, quem tem o microfone vai falar. Esta mão levantou-se primeiro.
Thank you very much. My name is Tony Nuyoma. I'm a former combatant of the People's Liberation Army of Namibia. I grew up here in Angola and I participated in many battles. The only battle that I did not participate in was the Battle of Puito Carnavale. But I really want to thank the organizers for organizing this important international conference for the liberation of Southern Africa, and also to recognize the importance of Puito Carnavale, the Battle of Puito Carnavale, which has served as a turning point in the history of Southern Africa, which has led to the implementation of the Resolution 435 of the United Nations, as well as the liberation of Nelson Mandela in South Africa. We thank the people of Angola sincerely from the bottom of our hearts. And I also listened carefully to the statements that were made by General Ndalo, Franca, and also President Joaquim Susano. I have been listening, but when the speakers were speaking, I recognized that why can't we have the same determination and resolution? When you look at all these Southern African countries, Mozambique, they have gas, oil and gas. Angola has oil. We have so many natural resources, including the mineral resources. But our people are swimming in poverty. I want to hear that with the same determination, what strategy can we adopt or look into so that we take our people in this blessed region with so endowed with so many natural resources, that we take our people out of poverty. We had the determination to defeat colonialism. We had the determination to defeat the most sophisticated army in Africa, supported by Israel and Western imperialist countries. Let's have the same determination so that we take our people out of poverty.
Thank you. Thank you.
Muito obrigado.
Thank you. Outra pergunta na mesma fila, penso que é a quinta fila. É a mão estendida agora, à direita, a quinta fila.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Márcio Diogo Dias dos Santos. I would like to thank Mrs. Shaningwa for presentation or explanation. Then, my question is concerning what Mrs. Shaningwa said, economic emancipation. I would like to know what kind of steps we must take in order to achieve this point, economic emancipation. Once we know that currently it is almost impossible in this globalized world to develop our countries alone. On the other hand, I would also like to know from Mrs. Shaningwa, when Mrs. Shaningwa referred to, or said, they want to destabilize our countries in the name of democracy. I don't know whether I understood it very well or not, but I would like to know from Mrs. Shaningwa, what have you meant when you referred to this point? Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to answer these two questions or take some more? You want to take some more?
Economical emancipation. What can we do? As my colleague, Comrade Utoni Nuyoma, have said, we have resources in our countries. Let's stand together, my brothers and sisters, as before. This is all what I have to say. Let's stand together, let's learn from one another. Let's learn from one another. Let's exchange knowledge, expertise. Let's open up. We have too many people in the world who love us so much. The Russians, the Chinese, the Cubans, and many other people. Some of our comrades are in the African continent. Let's stand together. I would like to say, our peace is the most crucial and vital asset that must be protected now. Wars are over. We will not be able to economically emancipate if the situation is not conducive. And therefore, our peace and stability as neighbors, as SADC, as a continent, is very, very crucial for us to enable us to go forward. Secondly, you have heard me very, very nicely when I said they want to destabilize our countries through the name of democracy and other means. And I told you before that I'm a politician. I know how we are fighting to have pela on the seat. I know how hard we are fighting to have SWAPO party on the seat. I know what it means. There are too many other people out there who are feeding financially those whom they want to throw away what SWAPO fought for, what pela fought for, and of course trying to make us to become opposition parties. But when we liberated our countries, we had an aim to rule, to govern, to provide to our people according to what we have promised them. Economic emancipation that I'm talking about. And therefore, I'm still saying, those of ones who have been getting funding elsewhere, I know what I'm talking about. It's an open secret. I think maybe you are even a journalist and you want to get more information from me. But you know that At independence, we were winning almost at 90%, having almost all the seats in the governments. Today is no longer the same. It's because other people who haven't been there as parties, who were just minority parties, today they are becoming more stronger financially, and these resources are not coming from our good selves, they are coming elsewhere. This is exactly what I mean. And this is what I'm saying, as political parties, as sister parties who fought for the liberation of our countries, we should remain focused, remain together, know from where we came from, and maintain what belongs to the spirit and to the ideals of our revolution. This is exactly what I mean. And I know you know what I mean. You just want to get more from me. And I thank you very much.
Thank you. On behalf of all of us, thank you, General, for your service, for your leadership. Unfortunately, our time is up. Muito obrigado a todos e agradeci também a General. Infelizmente já terminou o nosso tempo e devolvo então a palavra ao mestre de cerimónias. Muito obrigado.